we got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Green Bay Packers. Jacksonville Jaguars, it looks like Gardner Minshew, I think, will be out again. At least that's his declaration right now. I don't know if that'll change in the week. Those outs tend to turn to doubtfuls and questionables, based between Monday and Wednesday, Thursday when we record these things. So we'll see. But, Green Bay coming out against San Francisco, Aaron Jones, who's active, that was great, but all the touchdowns are going to Devontae Adams. I don't understand. Like, Tampa Bay was the only team that can figure out how to cover Devontae Adams. Like, you just get two people up on him and crash the routes because they just throw outs and slants all day. But he's impossible to cover, I got to say. And then he's got one of the best quarterbacks of all time throwing him the ball. So kudos to them. Let me get to the fantasy projections here. Quarterback I sit for Jacksonville regardless of who plays. I like James Robinson this week. We've talked about last week about how the Green Bay Packers defense is struggling against the run. Let's see here. I know DJ Tark had a good game, but I'm staying away from receivers for Jacksonville this week. I think it's really going to be James Robinson's game offensively for Jacksonville. Green Bay, on the other hand, I think Aaron Rodgers is a great play. I think Aaron Jones is a great play. Devontae Adams is a great play every week. And then I think Tanyan gets back in the end zone this week. That's my fearless projection based on the analytics here. I think Tanyan gets a touchdown. Take it away, David.
Ugh, I'm kind of sick of waiting around on Tanya.
Yeah, I know.
He was good earlier, and I was all in. I was buying up the hype, especially because the San Fran connections where Matt LaFleur wants to run it like San Fran. Tanyan was the Kittle. He had the Kittle role.
Yeah.
It's just not really come to fruition. And maybe it's got something to do with that ankle injury he suffered a few weeks ago. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But at this point, I don't see how you can start him until we see something more from him. Maybe
Right.
in daily fantasy, you take a shot. On the other side of the ball, Jake Luton. I'm automatically a Jake Luton fan just because he hasn't sabotaged this entire offense's value, which was the main concern, especially I'd never even heard of this guy before. And you talk about Minshew if he's healthy. Do we know that he was actually even really hurt and that's why he lost the job? It seems like one of those where they're like, hey, Minshew, we could tell the media that you hurt, or we could tell them that we're benching you for Jake Luton.
Yeah.
Which one you want us to go with? Maybe the hurt wrist. So even if he is healthy, I don't think there's any chance they turn back to him at this point until Luton face plants. They got to see what they have.
Yeah.
They kind of, for the most part, know what they have in Minshew. They don't want to move forward with him. That's been made clear. So I think Luton is going to be. He's going to get the rest of the season unless he starts throwing, crazy amount of interceptions left and right.
To me, Gardner Minshew, before we get to the line, Gardner Minshew is going to be the next Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think he's going to hang around the league for a long time. Occasionally he'll start, occasionally he won't, and he'll blossom into an 8-8 and 9-7 quarterback and then constantly be replaced by rookie quarterbacks. And that's probably what's going to be happening this year, honestly. So, but I like him. I do like him, and I know Jacksonville Jaguars fans like him. I mean, he's a likable guy. He's fun to root for, but you're right. I mean, they're kind of, turning the page. And Luton played better, man. Luton played pretty well yesterday, almost closed that gap. And, we were talking about, like, Houston was going to run away and cover that spread, and that didn't end up happening.
Let's say, though, it was like a cake matchup. And we've seen this before. Minshew did the same thing in his first game against the Chiefs, and he came in, he played well, and we were all like, "Oh, Minshew!" Now look at we're here now talking about Jake Luton a year later.
Let me get to the line here. We got Jacksonville Jaguars plus 14 versus the Green Bay Packers. Who you got?
14.
14.
I guess I'm picking the Jaguars and Jake Luton to cover the spread.
Man. Yeah.
It's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points, man. I hate this one, so I'm staying away because of it. I would have taken Green Bay if it was 10. I mean, I'm still going to take Green Bay. If we have to make a pick here, I'll still take Green Bay, but there's no way I would ever wager my money on that. 2 touchdowns is way too much against the spread. For
a team that played all right last week. It's not
their offense... It's kind of like the Bengals, man. Their offense scores enough points, and if you're talking about covering spread, if the offense can put up points... they're a danger every week, and they're always a danger for a late cover. Like we said with the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals, the Green Bay Packers could be up 20 points the entire game, and then Jacksonville comes down, gets a touchdown with a minute left in the game, and completely screwed the cover. I mean, that's how this thing goes. So I'm going to stay away from it. Green Bay can dominate and still not cover this game. I'm just going to stay away from it. Next game on the